Welcome to Smalltalk Daily for Thursday, February 25th, 2010. Recently I put up a post on getting started with the Facebook interface that I created in Smalltalk, and I then had a question come up through the Google Chat widget I have on my blog about how or whether this could be easily used in Pharo or Squeak. And it turns out that it wouldn't be that hard to port it over, but there are a couple of things you might want to know if you want to do that. In particular, the only thing you really need to worry about porting in any difficult sense is down here in the Facebook interface class down here and the connection class. Really the interface where it does the actual HTTP call. So when you go down to private post and you go down to the API where you're actually doing this getting of the URL and then taking the HTTP client and doing the execution, this is where you'd want to port the code over to using whatever HTTP interface your particular Smalltalk uses. But that's the actual porting mechanism, and in fact what you'd probably want to do is derive a new interface class and put in some class-side mechanism to pick the appropriate interface class based on your Smalltalk platform. I could probably do that myself, but in any case that's where you'd want to go. To get the actual code out of VisualWorks though and into some other Smalltalk, I wanted to go through that. And to do that, what you want to do is go to the parcel manager, flip over here to the directories view, and then scroll down till you get to contributed. And in here there's a package named kind of in an odd way, Fileout3o. It's named that way because way back when we released VisualWorks 5i and put in namespaces, we created a compatibility mechanism called Fileout3o to file out code in 3.0 compatible no namespace mode, where we just take and strip the namespace off things and push it out. It turned out that this was a useful thing to get portability between Smalltalk from us and from instantiations and from the Squeak community and from the Pharo community and so on. So if you load this in, and it's this fairly small package, now once that's in, let's close that down. What you can do is you can come up here to this, and first, before I file that out, I'm going to go to Settings, and I'm going to go to the File Out format, which is under Source. And down here you'll notice default chunk file out used to be just chunk and XML before I loaded this. Notice there are a whole bunch of other things: VW3 non-NB, VW3 NB generic, Squeak, VA Smalltalk, Dolphin. So you can take and pick one of these formats. So let's say I picked Squeak, hit apply, and now I'm going to take my Facebook bundle and I'm going to file out the entire thing. So I'm going to file out this package, and it's going to prompt me for a file name. So I'll say Facebook-squeak.st, and I apparently missed the F, so let's put that in. Then I'll hit save. And it's prompting me about things where I'm using underscores. Now Squeak has addressed this, but it's just prompting me that. I'm going to go ahead and it's going to warn me about all these various things where I've got these. And this is because of the fact that the Facebook interface has a whole bunch of these in it. I'm going to pause this while I get through this. Okay, so once that's done, let's go ahead and take a look at what came out of that. So we'll open up the file, FB, and we'll scroll down to where I have fbsqueak.st. We'll hit open, and you see here we have our file, and you notice that it put these class definitions into Squeak format, so it got rid of all the VisualWorks specific stuff here. It still left these things in, so we have all of this stuff that is specific to Squeak and gets rid of all the VisualWorks specific things. So you could at least load this in. You'd still have to port stuff. I mean, class references like HTTP client are not going to exist in Squeak, so you're going to have to go ahead and define those. Or if your tools define them for you, you're going to get stub classes that don't do anything. But at least the code will come in, and then you can take the specific places, like the one I mentioned, and start the porting process. So that's the process you would use, and you can go in reverse. You can file stuff in using Fileout3o. If you had Squeak code that you wanted to move into VisualWorks or Pharo code, you could take the exact same sequence of steps. And this is how we used to do the port of Seaside over, is using this little package and bringing things in by Fileout. We now use our Monticello importer so that you can bring things in a much more easy fashion. But for stuff like this, it might be easier just to go this small scale way. So that's about it for today. Until next time, have fun with Smalltalk.